Do you have any predictions as to where they're gonna bring the Doctor and Clara, or a future companion, like, character development-wise? Like,
I really don't know. I'm kind of hoping Peter Capaldi's Doctor is kind of like a mix between 3 and 7. Which is kind of the vibe. Like, there's this very short clip, but I think he's gonna be a kind of darker Doctor, which I will, but, like, not in a, like, I am depressing sort of way, but just, like, less outwardly, like,
more 9.
Yeah.
More 9 than 11.
Say more, 3, 9, 7. Just more dignified.
They're letting him keep his Scottish accent. Did you hear that?
Yes. Which is kind of where I think I'm getting the 7th thing from, because, Sylvester McCoy is Scottish. Capaldi or Capaldi?
I don't even know.
I thought it was Capaldi.
Capaldi? It could be Capaldi. I've just been saying whatever. I feel
Peter,
like...
The new Peter, as opposed to Peter Davison.
I'm hoping that, he'll be snarky. like...
I'm looking forward to it, because I think I wanted an older Doctor, because I didn't think it was going to be a woman, though there was part of me that really wanted it to be Maggie Smith. There was this thing on MuggleNet that was a joke, and it was like, that would actually be beautiful. Like, that would be fantastic. That's never gonna happen.
That's never gonna happen, but...
I don't think I want a Moffat writing a woman Doctor either.
No. I don't want Moffat writing no.
And,
no.
I mean, people have talked about, like, I think the reason a woman Doctor is wanted is really misunderstood. However, I think that if there was a woman Doctor, that would bring up a lot of, like, about gender identity, because if, like, he was physically female and then started identifying as female, that's kind of... especially for, like, transsexual people. And I don't think they could do it well if he was physically sexually female and identified as male. Like, I don't think it will be done well.
That's
but
true.
Since they killed off all the Time Lords, we're not going to get another Romana or anything. So, I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I went off on a tangent.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Capaldi.
I'm hoping that he'll be snarky, and that if, for some reason, he intersects with River again, they can actually be an old married couple. Because that would be...
I kind of wish there was more Ten and River. That was a good dynamic.
That was really good.
Which I think there was intended to be, but then David Tennant left. When I was watching this past season while I was writing my Leela paper, so I had been, like, super analyzing Doctor Who, and, like, for...
and this last season was super disappointing, at least for me.
Especially on a feminist level. But, yeah, which... And also, like, since I've gotten used to the pacing of classic Who, I go back and watch the new episodes, and I'm like, these seem really fast.
Especially, like, there's just so many that are like that.
I think even this past season, there were a couple that were just like, this was really too much packed into one.
Yeah.
Like, the Crimson Horror just seemed really, like, it was interesting, but it just seemed really fast to me.
It was so fast. I want to go back to your last comment of, not your last comment, a previous comment where you said, from a feminist perspective. Because that's been something that has been exploding on Tumblr, like Moffat and women, and how he portrays women or thinks of women. And so...
Like, where he was like, well, we've seen River's birth, death, marriage, so there's not much else we can do with her.
Yeah.
That's not the point of characters, and I think River, when we see her in the library and in, like, the Time of Angels and whatnot, Flesh and Stone, like, that's when it's the most interesting, where they're just, like, on adventures together. And it's
although in the library, she dies.
She does die, but that's, like, at the end. But it's not, like...
It's not the point.
It's not River isn't, like, the point of that, necessarily.
Yeah. No, like, because she's such an interesting character on her own.
And I was so mad when the reason she became an archaeologist was, like, because to find a good man. It's like, no. And that's when I started getting, like, a bit creeped out by River, because it's like... Both River and Amy, and even Clara, their entire lives revolve around the Doctor. And...
As opposed to Martha and Rose.
And even
lots of companions. Those are the ones I know. So
yes, and it's kind of a Moffat thing. So...
Because they don't have a life outside of the Doctor. Really. I mean,
like... Amy... I think sometimes he comes up with ideas, and he's like, this would be interesting, and doesn't really... think of the implications of that. Like, with Amy, like, it is interesting to think of the Doctor meeting someone as a child and then, like, the impact that would have on them. However, it just kind of got a creepy tone with Amy, especially since, like... And I think it's not as creepy as people think. Like, she was obsessed with him, but I think it's pretty obvious he viewed her that way, especially like when you look at Vampires of Venice and he's like, I could be your we could say I was your father, and she's like, you're not, you don't look old enough to be my father.
Yeah.
But like that was the first his mind. He thinks he's much older than her, which he is.
Yes. Yeah, but the way that like Amy herself is portrayed and how she is made to think, because she is created that way. Yes. Is very unhealthy. And so like her entire life is surrounded by her relationships with men. Like Rory or the Doctor. And Rory is a little more healthy, I guess.
I'm not even sure, like his entire life is Amy.
And that's true. I mean, like,
in some ways, like, you need the characters to, like, rely and depend on each other.
Yeah.
And when you have your main characters, you need them to, like, interact and have each other be important in their lives. And when you do have a small cast, they kind of need to be each other's worlds, but
that brings up another problem I have.
Sorry, I did not like the psychiatrist joke, like, for psychiatrists, because I kept biting them.
What?
In the 11th hour, Amy was like... Because, like, if she was... I'm not sure if this was intentional or not, but if you're seeing psychiatrists, that means there's medication involved. And that's not funny.
Yeah.
I want to have faith in Stephen Moffat that he's going to wrap up all his dangling loose ends, but the silence just kind of got dropped.
Well, they kind of, with the silence, they have the whole thing, like, subconsciously all of humanity is now going to kill them on sight. So they might
I didn't like
away.
The concept of silence either, but even, like, the whole, like, silence organization, like, thing, and the whole, like, silence will fall when the question is asked, and they went to Trenzalore and whatnot, and asked the question, and nothing happened. I don't...
There is the whole Doctor's name will be revealed, and then...
I didn't think that was going to happen, and I would have been mad if that had happened. But I was not fond of, like, the being jerked... I'm tired of being jerked around. That's what I'm really tired of being jerked around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want plain, reliable doctors. Some people are like, I hate Moffat. I don't hate Moffat. It's not worth hating Moffat. I don't like some of his decisions, but I don't think he's, like, actively trying to be disagreeable and a terrible person. I just don't think he realizes the implication of some of the decisions he makes. But I will agree, like he said before, like, Doctor Who has been so many things, and it will be so many things in the future. Like, however they choose. Like, this past season, they did, like, the blockbuster, like, thing, and they've done over, like long series arcs, and they've done a lot of things, and it will be a lot of things in the future. So if it's not currently what you like, it will change.
It will change. I was disappointed that Moffat's staying on after the regeneration of 11. I think that would have been a good time for him to leave. Personally, because I don't like the way he's manipulating the plots themselves.
I kind of wanted Moffat to leave and to keep Matt Smith.
Yeah, no, if I had to keep one of them, I would totally keep Matt Smith, but that's not the way it goes.
No. And, yeah, I'm hoping he'll leave soon, but I think it'll be a little more, I don't know, continuity is the right word, like, if you don't switch producer and Doctor at the same time, because otherwise it's pretty choppy. It was a pretty choppy transition.
So maybe one season with, Capaldi.
And yeah, who knows how long Genevieve Coleman's gonna be. I'm hoping she'll stick around for a while.
Maybe, because now that the mystery has been resolved, maybe she'll have more of a force on her own.
No, she's been doing a really good job with what they give her. Sometimes there's not a lot for her to do stuff with.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Sure. And I hope she'll at around for another season. Like, not just the whole, like, one season companion thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, she'll stick around, I think, for a little longer. Unless they, like, send her off during, like, the Christmas episode or something, but...
I'm pretty sure
I'm pretty sure they're gonna keep her.
I haven't heard, like... I think we would have heard by now if she was leaving. Because they have to announce that stuff. Like how we knew that Karen Gillan was leaving ages before.
Yeah.
We actually...
Pond stayed way longer than they should have. Like, I think they overstayed their welcome. I mean, like, yeah. Anyway, that's a different